Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is section 8.5, and it is all about two-way tables. Two-way tables is used to display and look at relationships between numerical sets of data. You might have data collected from food, from animals, from restaurants. You might even have colors. Okay, there's lots of different categories that we can look at to gain our numerical data. And one thing we like to look at is the frequency or the number of times that something occurs in our table. So our first example is talking about how Lexi conducted a survey. She asked participants whether they were male or female and if they preferred summer or winter. So when you take those two categories and you set it up, you would have a column that talks about male-female. You would have a row that talks about summer and winter. And what Lexi did is she put all of her data into the table that she collected. Males that like summer, males that like winter, females that like summer, females that like winter. Your job is to total up all the columns and total up all the rows so that you have some more data to look at. So I'll join you in just a second. 23 and 27 is 50 going across this column. And let's see, we have 35 and 15, which is also 50. So she talked to just as many males as females. When you start totaling the columns, you see that you have 100 people altogether. And when you count up the winter column, you have 27 plus 15, which is 42. And you have more people preferring winter because 23 plus 35 going down the column is only 58. So believe it or not, just from this survey, we can actually make some generalizations about the data, about what people said. So, for example, the first one, how many males are surveyed. We can go right across the male and go to the total column and get the fact that there were 50. And then we can also do that for female. There was also 50 females total. How many total people altogether was 100. And then how many people said they prefer summer. So this is where you have to be careful and make sure you go all the way down to the total column under summer. There are 58 people that preferred summer and only 42 people that preferred winter. So as long as you're careful reading with these types of questions and you added your columns and rows up, you're in good shape. Let's see, they said this time, how many females said they prefer winter? So make sure you're in the female row. Make sure you go over to winter. There's only 15 females that preferred winter. And then it says how many males preferred summer. So again, go to male, go to summer, and you see it's 23. Okay, so again, two-way tables allow us to arrange numerical data between two different relationships. It's a little different from the scatter plots we were doing. So I wanted to give you some practice taking a look at some two-way tables. On the next sheet, let's see, the other side of your note sheet, I'm going to have you put the table together all, you can see how it's totally empty. However, they did set it up for you. The scenario is Martin surveyed several students, asked if they had siblings. Okay, so that's either going to be a yes or no answer. And then he also asked those same people if they lived in a 1- or 2-story home. So this is kind of like his information that he just wrote down quickly. And then this is where we're going to organize it into the nice setup table. So I guess what I would look at first is how many siblings lived in a 1-story building. So Y means yes, they have siblings. A 1 means they lived in a 1-story building. So I'm going to just go ahead and pick those items out of the data. Again, I'm looking for a Y meaning yes, and 1 meaning they live in a 1-story building. So I'm pretty sure, I missed this one, I'm pretty sure there's 4 total. So that means I can put the number 4 here since 4 represents the frequency. In other words, the number of people that said yes, I have siblings, and 1-story home is what I live in. Let's see, I think I'll work on 2-story homes, but still in the siblings column. So now I'm looking for my Y's with a 2. So yes, I have siblings and 2-story building. I think we have quite a few of these this time. And let's see if I got them all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have 7 people who have siblings in a two-story building. Now, if you want, you can go ahead and total this row up. There's 11 people total that said they have siblings. That's what we know so far. The rest of the data, all right, if you do not have siblings, the person said N for no, and we might as well fill in the one stories. So I've got no with one story, a couple of them down here, and I think I've got one more up here. So it's a total of 4 people said no siblings, one story house. And finally, we have our no 2 stories, and there's only 3 of them. So one thing when you're setting up your own tables, it's a good idea to double check your data, make sure everything adds up. All right, we should have 18 total people that were surveyed. We have 10 that lived in a 2-story, and we have 8 that lived in a 1-story. So of course, if it adds up to 18 this way and this way, you're in good shape. It means you take care of, or that you went ahead and you have all the data accounted for. Once again, once you have your table, it's a nice organized way to look at your data. You can answer questions. How many people surveyed lived in a 2-story home? So remember, you're just going to go to the 2-story column and go to your total. We have 10 people. Of the people with siblings, so now we're only allowed to look at this row right here. How many answered that they live in a 2-story home? Again, that was 7. And then how many people surveyed did not have siblings? So if you're in the no siblings category, the total is 7. What I'd like you to do now is pause this video. I would like you to take a look at this last example. They filled in some of the information for you, and I want you to see if you can work backwards, fill in the missing information, and then answer the questions. Again, this is data that was given to you. You don't see like the data that they wrote down after they first took the survey. You see that the table has been partially filled in. So again, hit pause. Try this problem on your own with what you've learned about two-way tables so far, and then go ahead and hit play to check your answers. Okay, so what I wanted you to do is take a look at the given data and see if you could figure out how to work backwards and fill in the missing pieces. You know that in this row right here, the number of people that are right-handed who like pancakes and waffles has to add up to 50, so hopefully you took 50 minus 23 to get the 27. And then very similarly in this row, the left-handed people, these numbers have to add up to the total of 50. So again, working backwards, although I guess if you were missing 50, you had to work backwards in this column next. So underneath pancakes, if there's a total of 58 people, 58 minus 23 gave you the 35. And then in this column, since we had already found 27, you can add it to the 15 to get the 42. And then as you can see going across, that adds up to 100. So of course this has to add up to 100. Alright, so it's kind of like a little puzzle that you sometimes have to work backwards to get the information. The good news is once you have your information, you can answer questions about it. So this wants to know how many more left-handed people said they like pancakes over waffles. So again, we're only looking at left-handed people right now. We had 35 who liked pancakes. We had 15 who liked waffles. So they wanted how many more? That's because I have to subtract these. That's how I get 20. And then on the next one it says how many more right-handed people said they prefer waffles than left-handed people. So again, we're only looking at the waffles. The right-handed people, there were 27. The left-handed, there were 15. So if you subtract, you find out that there are 12 more right-handed people that liked waffles. And then again, how many people were surveyed? You can go to your total column or your total row, and you can see that there was 100 people surveyed. So again, these are the types of questions you're going to see on two-way tables. You are to practice these, and then our final lesson for the unit will be about how to use a two-way table to come up with what's called relative frequencies.